Hello, thank you for joining me in a new video. This time I have an unboxing of the Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra, so let's get started. This tablet is launching in Mexico at a price of 0.999 pesos. On the screen you can see the reference price in dollars to give you an approximate idea. But do keep in mind that the prices here differ from those over there, similar to the last generation. Samsung has decided not to include the keyboard case, unlike in previous generations. However, what is still included, as you can see here on the box, is the S Pen, which is a very useful and quite interesting addition, especially in this range. The price seems to compete directly with laptops where there's a broader range of applications. I believe it targets a specific audience. Let's unbox it so you can see it. As you can see, the box is quite large since it's Samsung's biggest tablet. We'll take it out now. The tablet is ultra thin. We'll show the tablet in a moment or we'll run out of time. Space, but as I was mentioning, it includes the integrated S Pen. In this case, it matches the color of the tablet, which I'll show you shortly. Additionally, it comes with this envelope. Let's take a look at what's inside. It appears to contain the cable, which is USB-C to USB-C. Fortunately, Samsung tablets come with a longer cable compared to the cell phone, so it can also be quite useful for charging your phone if you already own a Galaxy cell phone. As you can see, the charger is not included in the package. Of course, it's compatible with power delivery and all Samsung chargers, so you'll need to purchase it separately if you don't already own one. Now, let's turn our attention to the other side of the box, where we can find a tool designed to remove the tray. This tray appears to be for placing a micro SD card, although we'll confirm that shortly. Additionally, you'll find some standard paperwork that usually comes with such products. And that's essentially everything included. It appears they do not provide any spare parts. I find it quite interesting because in previous generations, the S Pen used to come with spare parts and a special tool for changing the tip. However, now it seems you will need to purchase those items separately when you notice that it's necessary to replace the tip. Well, for the moment, that's everything included in the box, so let me put this back in and we'll shift our focus to the tablet. Let's take off this sticker over here and check out the tablet's design. I got the silver edition, but it also comes in darker shades. Now, let's discuss some differences from the previous generation. Aesthetically, the cameras now have a slightly different ring. This version is a bit lighter and thinner, with a thickness of 5.4 millimeters and a weight of 718 grams in the Wi-Fi model, as you can see here. In the tray, this edition that I have, that is Wi-Fi, only brings slot for micro SD card, which is pretty good. Especially, for example, if you want to edit your photos directly here, just use an adapter on your camera and then remove the micro SD and transfer the photos so fast. Then I really like that it has slot for micro SD, and the other side would have the slot for nano SIM card in the 5G editions. However, this edition is only Wi-Fi, that obviously with the aim of. It also has the advantage of having connectivity everywhere. Honestly, there are not too many changes with respect to the last generation, at least not significant changes. But let me describe the specifications and tell you how it has changed. Remember that the S Pen, you can stick it on the back. The screen is huge. It offers us a diagonal of 14.6 inches, exactly the same as the last generation. In that sense, there is no evolution. It offers us the dynamic AMOLED 2X technology with 120 Hz on. The refresh rate makes it a truly spectacular screen. Even in the last generation, it was already very impressive. So in this regard, there hasn't been much evolution or improvement. It features multiple speaker grills, ensuring the sound quality is absolutely spectacular. This is especially true if it manages to surpass what a laptop in this price range could offer. The multimedia experience is entirely superior, given the screen's spectacular quality and the sound's excellence. Despite lacking a headphone jack, remember that Samsung includes two front cameras. It seems to me something unnecessary. One is ultra-wide. Another is normal. I think with an ultra-wide would be more than enough. So I have criticized this and I will continue to do so because it seems to me an unnecessary expense. Better to put us another USB-C port. I will continue to insist on that. Since in this sense, the experience is much more limited compared to what a computer could offer you. On the back it also brings two cameras, again main and ultra wide, and again it seems unnecessary from my point of view. We only need a front camera and a rear camera, but Samsung puts four cameras to this tablet. In this case are 13 and 8 megapixels, while in the front camera both are 12 megapixels. With such a large tablet it is not recommended to record video, but in this case it reaches up to 4K at 30 frames per second. Anyway, it lacks attractive features. I repeat, recording with a big tablet isn't advisable. The battery is 11,200 mAh, same as the last generation, showing no evolution in many areas. It also supports 45 watts charge, just like before. So what's the difference? Well, to begin with, let's talk about the software. This time it includes the latest Galaxy AI. However, it's important to note that the previous generation was already updated with all these features as well. So, to sum it up, I would actually suggest you consider purchasing the previous generation. It's likely to be more affordable, and honestly, the advancements in this generation have been quite minimal. To summarize, this version is just 0.1 millimeters thinner than the previous one, weighs 14 grams less, and comes with a new processor. Actually, I believe making the tablet lighter is beneficial, as a larger tablet tends to be quite heavy. It's a noticeable difference, but not enough to justify spending more money on this model over the previous generation. Before discussing the processor, I want to mention two other differences that might not be obvious in the specs, but are noticeable when you see them. You have one by one if you get to notice them. For starters, the screen has a much more advanced anti-reflective finish that we didn't have before. Look at the level of reflections that the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra has. It's quite noticeable. While in this new model the reflection is contained in a better way. That's an important evolution. The volume is the second. I don't know if you're going to distinguish through the camera microphone, but the Galaxy Tab S Ultra sounds much louder than the generation. In the past, I'm going to play some music. Even though at this max volume it might sound a bit distorted or saturated, it's much louder. Now I'll play the last version. And it already hits the max volume, as you notice. So the last generation definitely sounded great, but at a lower volume. This new generation, in my opinion, has slightly less audio quality at the highest volume, but the maximum volume is way louder than the last generation. Let me express it a bit more gently, and I must say it sounds excellent at maximum volume. Additionally, it listens quite well. This latest version is equipped with the MediaTek Dimensity 9300 Plus processor, which has sparked a lot of controversy, given that the previous model featured the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy. This shift has been quite intriguing. We are going to conduct this benchmark test to obtain a numerical reference for the processors, to determine whether there has been an evolution, if they are comparable or if they are. There's been some resistance. Let me pause and wait for it to complete, and then I'll get back to you once I have the results prepared. Okay, now we have the results ready. As you can see, there is definitely an evolution in power. Previously in multi-core, it reached around 5,520 points, and in this generation, it has reached almost 7,000 points. In a single core, the difference isn't as significant, but honestly, to do justice to the amazing hardware that this tablet possesses, I would have really liked to see the new Dimensity 9400 included. Or even consider the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is significantly more powerful. While it's not a bad processor, as I mentioned, for Samsung's top-of-the-line tablet, I would have preferred to see a more powerful processor. However, at the time of its launch, those processors weren't available. So now, I'm running Antutu to get a better reference point of the score that these tablets might achieve in terms of graphics processing capabilities. For the time being, I must emphasize that the anti-reflective finish on this new version is considerably nicer than the previous generation. I think it is perceived much more clearly here. And now we have the scores. In the case of the Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra, which comes with the MediaTek processor, it reached a score of 19,54,954 points. Meanwhile, the previous version with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 remains slightly lower. So as I mentioned, there is indeed an evolution in terms of power. To sum it up, I would say that there are only a few changes. It's a bit thinner and somewhat lighter. There's an anti-reflective finish on the screen, the sound is much louder, and the processor is definitely more powerful. Please let me know in the comments if you think these changes are easy enough for you to make a switch, or tell me which of the two options you would prefer. Personally, I believe that the anti-reflective finish is going to be a very significant factor, so take notice of the difference it makes. And, well, before we wrap up the video, I also want to take a moment to show you the keyboard accessory. As I mentioned earlier, it is sold separately, and in this instance, it also has a slight variation from the keyboard that we observed in the previous generation. Now, when we look inside the box, there isn't a whole lot to see concerning this accessory. And I just want to make sure you take note that now it comes equipped with the Galaxy AI key. So naturally you have direct access to a variety of artificial intelligence tools simply by pressing this key. Please note that this function will allow us to open either Bixby or Gemini, depending on which app you prefer to use. The integration of this key, of course, is something I appreciate. However, as a counterpoint, I must mention that now we are only going to have this tilt angle available here, and the tab located on the back doesn't have any different adjustments anymore. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you appreciate the tilt feature, then this is the sole tilt you can utilize, particularly in the laptop format, which is quite convenient for comfortable use. It's important to know that the case from the previous generation includes this tab, allowing you to adjust it entirely to your preference. This way, you can position the tablet almost flat with a slight tilt, or adjust it precisely to your desired angle. However, this new generation is different, as it only offers a single adjustment option, as I mentioned, because it has already been designed this way. It does not have this little tab. Now this back cover comes completely glued with the keyboard, unlike the last generation that came with the keyboard completely removable, so I think it is an important difference. Personally, I like the previous design. For the moment, this has been all for this video. Remember that we will have a video review available later where we will describe everything in detail and we will do different tests. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, let us know. See you next time.